Today, I want to talk about something people don't really like to talk about: getting older. Something interesting happens when you turn 60. Your body slows down, your mind changes. You just don't have the same energy to run through life the way you used to. Maybe some of you watching already know what I am talking about. You start wanting things to slow down. You need more rest. Sometimes you even need a nap every day just to recharge. You start wanting quiet space, a space to sit, think, and just breathe. Life becomes less about rushing and more about peace. And another thing happens too. If you don't build friendships when you were younger, life can become very quiet, sometimes even lonely. Maybe some of you watching have felt that. If you didn't have children or grandchildren around you, the days can start to feel the same. One okay looks like next, the next, and over again. That's why I believe the choice we make in our 20s and 30s mattered so much. For me, I feel very blessed. I trusted God and I had 6 daughters. And today those daughters have given me 21 grandchildren. And those grandchildren bring life into my world. Seeing them a few times a week, hearing their little stories, watching them grow, it brings a kind of joy that is hard to explain. Of course, I don't have the same energy I used to. I cannot run after them the way I did when my children were small. But just watching the next generation grow, there is something very beautiful about that. And if you did build a friendship early in life and kept those friendships, it feels good to reconnect. Maybe a coffee together, maybe a phone call, maybe visiting each other a couple times a month. Humans were never meant to live life alone. We are meant to talk, to share stories, to belong to some kind of community. But we are young, we forgot about that. We focus on work, we focus on building a career, we focus on raising our children. And sometimes we forgot about ourselves. Then the children grow up, they moved out, the house becomes quiet. At first that quiet feels nice, peaceful. But after some years, the quiet can turn into loneliness. That's why hobbies are so important too. For me, my hobby has always been knitting. Many years ago, I started knitting simply to relax my mind. But in the last couple of years, I decided to give my hobby more attention and even turn it into a small side income. When I come home from work and sit down with my yarn and my knitting needles, it brings me peace. I create something with my hands, a hat, a pair of socks, something warm for winter. And of course, my children and grandchildren always need new hats and socks. That simple hobby keeps my mind active and my heart happy. I have a friend who does not have any hobbies. He cannot do many things, but nothing really brings him joy. He likes to travel, but traveling alone can also feel lonely when you don't have someone to share the experience with. That's why I believe that when you are in your 40s, you should start thinking about what your life will look like later. What will bring you joy? Who will you spend time with? What hobbies will keep your mind alive? None of us know how long we will live. But we can still prepare for the kind of life we want. Think about your health, think about your friendship, think about your hobbies, think about the people who will walk through life with you. Those things are what make love meaningful when you get older. And maybe this is something people don't talk about enough. That's why I'm grateful for a place like YouTube, where we can share our stories and learn from each other. Life doesn't end at 60, but it does change. And if we prepare wisely, it can still be a very beautiful season of life. And I am curious, if you are watching this and you are in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, what brings joy into your life right now? Tell me in the comments. Bye bye.